The last few crises we've had, have been relatively short-lived. They were perhaps dramatic and very scary, but they passed fairly quickly. I'm not sure that this next one is going to pass as quickly as the previous ones.
But then that'd be a Powell decision, wouldn't it? Because I think the Fed have control over the swap lines. Is that correct?
That's absolutely right. And so, historically, the reason swap lines have been used is because I don't want to get too far in the weeds here, but we live in a debt-based monetary system, which means all the money that exists has been loaned into existence, with the exception of the base money. So the base money is the physical coins and currency of US dollars and the reserves at the Fed. So that's considered base money. All the other money in existence has been loaned into existence. And typically when we've gotten into a downturn, the Fed has gone in and recapitalized the system by putting new bank reserves, base money, into the system. And that signal that the Fed is going to be there to bail everybody out then gets everybody else to go back to spending and extending credit and doing what they were doing before. And then the system kind of self-perpetuates. But the rest of the world does not have a Fed that can create dollar-based money to get the system going again. So that's why the swap lines exist. The swap lines exist as a way for the Fed to get those dollars to the ECB, to the Bank of England, to the Bank of Japan, et cetera, et cetera. I just don't think that those bailouts or those swap lines, I'm not saying they won't be extended. I think they probably will be extended, but I think they will have tighter strings attached to them than they had in the past. And I think in some cases they won't be extended at all unless you agree to a new tariff deal or a new trade deal or a new military alliance. And so with Trump coming in and kind of changing the way that the U.S. does business, I just think it's going to be a different game this time. And that, again, causes great problems to the rest of the world because, they owe that money to each other. So if they default on that U.S. dollar debt, they're not defaulting on the United States. It's Turkey defaulting on France, or it's Indonesia defaulting on Japan, or it's Australia defaulting on India, or whatever the one is, right? And so if the U.S. doesn't come in and help recapitalize those systems as the credit contraction picks up speed, then that's how you get not only a credit contraction, but a potential credit collapse.